What's up, guys? My name is Mikey, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my testimony. So it all starts when I'm around 8 years old. My parents got divorced, and it just kind of stemmed into a whole lot of different issues throughout middle school, throughout my elementary days, and also throughout high school. When I first started realizing what I was going through and to the extent of what I was going through was when I was in middle school, when I was around 7th grade. So when I was around 7th grade, I had around 2 or 3 friends, and they would just kind of subtly point out things that I was doing that they didn't do, and it was kind of like indifferent than them, and they were just kind of like, bro, you might want to think about what you're doing or like what you're dealing with right now, because I would be a little bit more emotional than they were, a little bit more like into it, and a little bit more over their house every weekend than they would come over my house. Or like, it was almost like I didn't want to be home, and I didn't feel like I had a home because I felt like I was betrayed. I felt like I was abandoned by my father, because my mom was a single mother from when I was 8 years old to when I was 11 years old, and then my stepdad came in. But other than that, when I was a freshman in high school, that's when my issues started to get really bad. So when I was a freshman in high school, the depression that I was dealing with, the anxiety I was dealing with, the thoughts in my head that I was dealing with, everything from thinking that I'm not good enough for somebody to worrying about where my next meal is coming from, even though I had them right in front of me, I worried and I overthought about that stuff every single day. When I was a freshman in high school, my grandma actually contacted me on a Wednesday night, and they said that my church, the Extension site that I'm at right now, Church on Fire, had a youth group that I could attend, as a high schooler. And of course I was like, maybe not, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I'll go next week, the stereotypical excuses to make when you're a high schooler and you don't want to go somewhere. But she made me go, long story short, and I loved it. I loved going. I made a couple more friends. Like I felt comfortable in my skin enough to go. And while I was there, I was afraid to tell my youth pastors or my youth leaders what I was going through, because I felt like I was going to get shamed, or I felt like I was going to be, different than everybody else, or nobody ever went through that with me. Long story short, my youth pastor went through it with me, and when he shared that with me, it made it a lot easier to share with him what I was going through and what I was dealing with because of that incident that I had when I was 8 years old. But through him actually stepping out in faith and telling me these things about himself was very, very helpful to me, because now I know that I can go to anybody within the church and get help. So when I was a freshman in high school, I started going to church every Wednesday, and I started my path with Christ that Wednesday, the first Wednesday ever when I gave my life to Christ, which is amazing. And now that I am firmly rooted into the church, now I can say that I can be used, I'm important, and I'm used by God every single day, and that's pretty much it. Thank you.